Hello and welcome into another week of the Stadium Experience with your host, Jake Elmsley. That's right, it has been exactly 1 week since last time I started an episode of this podcast. Jordan Moment here alongside me for the first time in 1 week. We haven't talked since then. And you know, Jordan, a lot of interesting things happened in sports this week, I'd say. We had the conference title games. One very good game, one tragic and interesting to talk about. The NBA trade deadline is coming up. The Bruins going for the all-time win record in the NHL right now. That's right, hockey fans. Just threw you a bone. The Red Sox sure are the Red Sox. But, Jordan, I think more interesting than all that, I think more interesting to everybody, is that we have some brand new pointing and laughing to do with Matt Patricia and Joe Judge. Something we often don't do on this show. Something we've talked about. A lot of people have asked. They write me letters. They come in the mail. They say, you know what? Why don't you talk about the offensive coaching on the Patriots enough? They say it like it's a big story, Jake. You got to talk about it more. They tweet at me. They send me carrier pigeons. They send me VHS tapes of them recording their pleas, offering me things, monetary, emotional things. And I say, no. I just don't think it's that interesting to talk about. But fine. I will this week. Because on, I believe, Friday, this article came out in the Herald by Andrew Callahan and Karen Garigian, both very good reporters. The title of the article, Inside the Most Dysfunctional Patriots Season Under Bill Belichick, quote, I've never seen anything like it. And according to them, their sources come from coaches and players inside the building. Everything's anonymous, as these things often are. Mm-hmm. But I guess there's nothing groundbreaking in this. I'll preface it with this. But it does peel back the layers a little bit more. And I think there are some quotes in here that I think are interesting. This article talks a lot about their attempts to implement a new style of offense this offseason. Talks about the dysfunction of most of the thing. And early on it goes into this. And if you remember, during the offseason, a lot was made about how the Patriots trying to switch to this like Shanahan-style system, trying to switch to more of a West Coast offense, zone running, all that. And they didn't do it. Yeah, they failed miserably at doing it. Now, I'll say what I said then. Great idea. Fine idea. They were trying to do two things. They were trying to switch the offense, to switch to at least implement elements of a new system, and simplify the current existing system, which had become very, very complicated over 20 plus years with Tom Brady and sometimes Josh McDaniels and then Josh McDaniels again. And Jordan, I'm sure, how many times did we hear new players coming with the Patriots and they can't grasp the system and they can't keep up with Brady. And I'm sure at some level that's true. I'm sure there's some truth to that. I would just imagine that if you have one guy who's the greatest player in the history of the sport, just adding layers to an offense year after year. After 20 years, probably very incomprehensible to most outsiders, save for, the people who have been in it for 20 years. So simplify the system sounds like a great idea. Add these modern offense elements. I've called for it a lot, Jordan. I've called for it all year. Fine. However, another thing we talked about is that they didn't have anybody who knew anything about that sort of system. And the article goes into this. Second, makes the same point. None of the assistants had coached a Shanahan-style system before, like the Rams, be it under McVay or any disciple of Mike Shanahan, the namesake of the NFL's most popular offense. The staff's lack of understanding became a frequent source of frustration in meetings, when players with experience in Shanahan systems, read Kendrick Bourne probably, of which there were at least half a dozen, would raise questions about how to solve the defense they would face with other teams. A lot of guys would ask, well, what's going to happen if the defense does this? And you would see that they hadn't really accounted for that yet, one source said. And they'd say, we'll get to that when we get to that. That type of attitude got us in trouble. Eventually, the staff's approach ran counter to the reason they had pivoted in the first place. By the end, they were just making 1,000 adjustments instead of building them in at the beginning, one source said. the roof of most problems fell onto Patricia's domain. So again, nothing we didn't infer all season. But it's not a good look if you have players, again, because you have some players who have played in those types of offenses before, some players who might have some kind of understanding, and if you're asking, like, hey, what do you do with the defense, like, shifts in, like, a cover 3 or something? I don't know. We'll figure it out. We haven't thought about that yet. We'll get to it. We're learning how to coach offense, guys. Move on. Then this is just kind of grinding an axe for me myself. But another glaring issue was the disconnect between the Patriots' run and pass schemes. Something rarely seen in New England and never true with Shanahan systems. Very true, those entire systems are built on the running game. Anyway, according to Sports Info Solutions, the Patriots called 83 outside zone or stretch run plays during the regular season compared to a league-low 5 bootleg play-action passes. The most common in complementary passing schemes of those runs.
Wow.
It's not. I mean, Jordan, how often do we talk? Again, none of this is new. I got to be honest.
But they hear the exact numbers.
It's unbelievable. And that's not
only 83.
Well,
only 5.
The zone runs are fine. Whatever. That's a fine number. It's not like your entire offense is a section of it. But the entire system is built off of the zone runs. And then the bootlegs. Basically, it's all based off that. And then the play action passing. Which is the most basic thing in the world, by the way. This is me, a nincompoop, who knows nothing of these things. Like, my understanding of it on that basic level in Jordan. How much during the year did I complain about them not calling, like, them not just using play action at all? When they were going from a system that last year was predicated on it, and their quarterback was very successful too, then switching to a system that also implements it as a pillar of the system, and then somehow just not doing it either way. Because again, Jordan, they know what they were doing. It's not like you can even argue, like, well, last year we didn't really run a lot of play action. No, you did. You ran a ton of it. It was like your best thing. And then you're switching to a system that also, a different type, not 5 play action passes, it's 5 of like the bootleg play actions. However, not new information. Again, but not sounding like everybody was on one page. Then the article just flies into complete and utter Joe Judge slander. Would you like to hear some Joe Judge slander, Jordan?
Yes, please.
Okay. Around early October, when Jones was sidelined with a high ankle sprain, players began to see less of his position coach in meetings. His position coach being Joe Judge. Joe Judge, they later suspected, was in a long process of being phased out. It was a stark change from training camp when Judge would command meetings and share the play call sheet and team periods with Patricia and Belichick. Judge also, this is a good one, Judge also coached across positions in practice, forcing other assistants to occasionally correct his talking points to players during drills. So imagine, Jordan, you're just there, you're like coaching up you'd be a linebacker coach, I know you love linebackers. Mm-hmm. You're there coaching up the linebackers, and then, over comes Joe Judge just sticking his nose. He's like, hey, Mac doesn't want to talk to me. Mac told me that I'm a dumb fuck and should shut my stupid mouth. I'm just gonna run some stuff by you. I'm gonna run some stuff by you guys. Then he's just wrong. Whatever he's telling you is wildly incorrect. Anyway, I think there were times the coaches were frustrated, especially the ones who had been in the staff in years past and knew what we had done, one source said. As Patricia came under outside fire as the face of the offense, Judge drew increasing criticism from within. Belichick would blast him in practice, and it wasn't uncommon for Judge and Jones to trade profanity-laced outbursts. Jones's trust in his position coach was effectively non-existent. Now, that points to something I said all year. That's not a story, Jordan. I started saying like week 4. Where when Mac's mechanics not week 4, he was hurt week 4, but you know what I'm saying. Like, I think it was like October, maybe I said, I don't remember. Whenever I started pointing to it, when it was obvious that Mac had mechanically fallen apart entirely. Just on like a fundamental level, did I not point out that, even if maybe anything Joe Judge is telling him is vaguely correct, which maybe it could be. Maybe. You know, he might know a thing or two. He's probably not listening. He's probably not taking it in at all, which maybe is a knock to Mac to a certain extent. But he's probably not taking it. Sounding like that was definitely the case. Which again, Jordan, this is not new information. This was all obvious. We all knew this because they were screaming at each other on the field. We knew what was happening. But that's fun. Anyway, it then continues. Also, by the way, this sounds, then the first half of that, I'll be honest, I'm going to defend him. Sounds like Belichick and Patricia kind of started throwing him under the bus. If anything, sounds like I don't know how much impact a quarterback's coach is really having. So it sounds like maybe they smelled blood on the water around people not liking Joe Judge. It's like, wow, going to throw this guy under the bus? Because again, I say like of all the parties involved, Joe Judge is a distant third or fourth to the Patriots offense not being functional this year. I know he's been lumped in with these guys a lot. I'll be fair. I don't know how much damage you're doing as a quarterback's coach that nobody wants to listen to. But maybe I'm wrong, because apparently he was trying to talk to everybody. Apparently he was trying to stick his nose in every single meeting. But Mac didn't like him at all. And then here's a zinger, Jordan. Tell me if this sounds like a good situation. Judge would speak extra loudly in meetings, trying to project like he was the guy. And I think that kind of rubbed people the wrong way. Do you want to hear Joe Judge talk like he's the guy, Jordan?
I wouldn't like that.
You wouldn't like You don't think Joe Judge was speaking extra loud because he just had something extra good to say?
I doubt it.
You don't think he was like, oh, no, I got it. Guys, let's run no play action. So anyway, again, nothing groundbreaking out of this article. Nothing that I have not assumed was true since, like, I don't know, September 17th, will say. But, oh, baby. Oh, the fact that frankly, the fact that coaches are willing to, assumably coaches or players are willing to talk about it. Oh, baby, Bill O'Brien's got his work cut out for him, Jordan. Which, by the way, I saw today, Bill O'Brien's official title is offensive coordinator and QB coach. Which, again, which can only be Joe Judge is still on the staff, allegedly. He's down there with them in the Senior Bowl. Which, by the way, the Patriots staff coaching the Senior Bowl. Read good things.
Poor bastards at the Senior Bowl, I'll tell you what.
He's down. Bill O'Brien's down there with him. You know, the whole staff, they're down there. Looks like Belichick's been engaged, though. I got to tell you. Seen a lot of little videos. He's getting in there with kids. He's pulling them aside. He's showing them like some blocking stuff, showing them some getting to their stances and stuff. So, you know, he looks a little engaged, Jordan. He's good. He's having a good day. Not a bad day. It's good when people get to a certain age. You like to see him have good days. A little bit active. So, you know, so now he'll probably only draft people that played in the Senior Bowl is probably what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We probably won't see Belichick again until the draft, and then every single player they draft will be somebody from the Senior Bowl. Probably some good players down from the West team, because they coach the West team for some reason. Don't even know how that works out. But probably will only be that. What's going to be the Shrine Bowl, it's called. But we'll probably only draft players that played in the Senior Bowl. But, maybe some of them will be good. Maybe some of them will be good. It's some good, again, reading some good stuff about Zay Flowers, is that his name? Out of Boston College. Good, read a lot of good stuff about him. He's been looking good. You want a Boston College guy? Do you want to know you went to a BC game or two this year?
I did see him. He looked all right.
On Zay Flowers? There we go.
He looked terrible.
Oh, there we go. But yeah, anyway, I don't know, Jordan. Any of this stuff from the Herald article move the needle for you?
All this just comes back to the main question I had all throughout the last year or so. Is why did they do this in the first place? What did they really think was going to happen?
Belichick genuinely believed that you could, and he said it. He just genuinely believed that being able to coach any part of football means you can coach any other part of football.
he is incorrect.
Got that one pretty wrong. Maybe did not get that one. It did not get that. Oh, by the way, one more quote from this. Members of the organization feel Bill Belichick was lucky to land the 53-year-old Bill O'Brien near the end of his contract with the University of Alabama. So, Jordan, they're lucky to have Bill O'Brien is what they're saying down there.
Oh, boy.
And another quote from another source, I love Coach Belichick, but he effed us. And frankly, that quote could be from Joe Judge or Matt Patricia or anybody else. If I'm Joe Judge, I also think Bill Belichick kind of effed me.
That's direct from Matt Judon. Had 15 sacks this year. Didn't matter.
That could have came from anybody in the building. Again, including the people who messed up the most. Because if you're Matt Patricia or Joe, my lord, I don't even blame them. I blame Belichick more than I blame them because my lord, were they just putting this? I mean, like, what are you gonna do if you're them unless you're just gonna walk away from the job? Which I guess is a lot to expect somebody to do. I mean, what are you gonna do? You're thrown to the worst situation imaginable. And Matt Patricia's gone. He still has not, like, they haven't, like, re-signed him. So I guess he's just gone. Again, I guess they just wanted him because he's cheap. You know, again, Joe Judge, who everybody hates apparently, and likes to just kind of walk around and give, like, wrong advice to people during positional meetings, is still there because they don't have to pay him. He's down there at the Senior Bowl, baby. But, oh, Lord. It's almost, Jordan, it almost lets me cope more. Like, the more you read about how bad it is, it's almost like, well, maybe just having normal offensive coaching actually will be good enough to get this team like 2 or 3 more wins. Because my lord, what a disaster! You know, if it's this much of a disaster, the opposite of a disaster must make an actual difference. It must actually make a tangible difference. I mean, how can you feel otherwise? But yeah, again, if you're like, we dance on the graves a little bit more. Hopefully we get to do this less. I was kind of excited not to have to do this anymore. I was like, ooh, new page, baby. We step into a new exciting future with a new exciting play caller called Bill O'Brien. New blood, baby. But nope. Blame Garisian and Callahan. They did this to us, not me. They had to go do some journalism. They had to go get some good sources. So now we got to talk about it. So that's, again, new things. I mean, we haven't talked about a lot on this show. Thought it would be important to address it. But anyway, we can talk about actual football games now. Isn't actual good teams playing football, winning football.
Well, I got to ask you, was it the teams playing football or was it the rest?
Oh, Jordan, do I hate it. Oh, God. I don't want to talk about it too much. Because do I not talk about this? Like, it seems like every year this happens during the conference title games. Almost every year. We get bogged down in a stupid ref debate. And I hate it. I hate it! I don't like it! I don't like talking about it, because it's like the least fun thing to talk about, right? Like, what's less fun to talk about than rules? Get some rules talk, baby.
The people who conduct the rules.
Oh my God, it's the worst. I hate it.
Implement and regulate them.
Oh, Jordan, I hate it. Oh, I do. I hate it. Like, I'm at a point where I'm like, just get rid of all replay. Like, truly and genuinely. Like, I'd rather just things get like, they just get things wrong and we just get through it and then it's done and we don't have to talk about it. I know that'll never happen. Because I don't know, we've just gone too far. When do we ever go back with technology? But oh my God, like what a way to overshadow like an otherwise like excellent football game, right? And I'm not saying overshadow by them because I don't even know what they really got wrong. What did they get wrong? Like what? Like, yeah, it sucks that that like the Chiefs get to convert because of a roughing the passer penalty and not because like the best quarterback in the league makes like a sick play. But also, just don't hit him on the way out. Like just don't do it. If you don't do it, nothing happens. Nothing happens. And by the way, every single like person who's ever played like defensive line in the NFL who has a Twitter, and like half the fan bases will act like they've never seen a roughing the passer call, or they've never seen an unnecessary roughness call in their life, by the way. That's what bothers me more than anything. People act like, wow, that's not the call. How's that unnecessary roughness? How is it? It's like, yeah, you can't. When do you ever get 2 steps out of bounds, get hit, and it doesn't get called? I'm sure it happens, but it's not supposed to happen. Like, that's the rule. So I don't know, Jordan. I hate it. I hate how it feels like every year we have to do this. I hate it. We don't have to do it. People just are
Jake, it's because kids nowadays are too soft.
Yeah, people are just babies.
Too soft, and the league's too soft.
Yeah, people are just babies. Like, people are just babies, and they just want to complain about refs instead of do anything. Like the Bengals, they lost.
They reset the clock, and then they failed the third down conversion, and the refs gave the Chiefs another chance.
Yeah, I don't care.
At the third down.
Yeah, because we're over refereeing sports. We're over replaying it. Like, it's. Yeah, I don't like it. Trying to put every game inside the Georgia Dome. Like, it's not necessary.
But what is the catch?
Who cares? Oh my God! Like, nothing worse. We'd have no catch discourse, and we could like sit there and replay it, and then send it to New York. Except sometimes you can't send it to New York, or sometimes you can send it to New York, but only if you challenge it. But you can only challenge it sometimes. Like, it's a mess. We haven't made anything better. All this technology has not made anything better, Jordan. Nothing has been improved by it. They still get a bunch of calls wrong. And now everything just takes longer and is worse, and they force you to look at it. They just shove it in your face for 8 minutes to sit there and be like, oh, maybe it's a catch. Oh, well, that angle, maybe. I hate it. I hate looking at a play for 4 times from different angles. Just sitting there. Oh, I hate it. It's so stupid. Truly and genuinely. Just abolish all replay.
But, Jake, it wasn't intentional grounding.
Oh, my God, I know. Oh, my Lord. Well, can we send it to New York, Jordan, or is that only... It's only a New York call if...
So you can only send it to New York if there's less than 4 minutes remaining and before the half or close of the game. And there's no timeouts by either team, and you have to go summon an old soothsayer.
Yeah, I was going to ask you
read
the
your
actual
future.
rules. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Only if if a bird that's mainly a primary color has flown over the stadium in the last hour.
Exactly.
Like, wow, Jordan, I love sports. I love being a sports fan because I get to memorize a bunch of arbitrary statutes, and I have to like regurgitate them to win arguments with people on Twitter. That's what sports are all about, Jordan. This is.
But don't forget, you have to slaughter a newborn lamb and read its entrails, so the gods can give you.
But if it happens on a time where it's all the same, like a 3-3-3 on the play clock, you don't have to do anything. That's when the universal lines, it just gets sent to New York for free.
This is true.
It's true. Doesn't this make the game better, Jordan? Doesn't all this make the game so much better? Doesn't this make the more enjoyable entertainment product for you to watch? Don't you love this more? I mean, I know you love this for like the chaos, like because it inflicts like pain on people. But you know, doesn't it make the product like more fun and watchable? Oh baby, I love it.
Every time I read catch discourse, my strength grows tenfold.
See, it only eats at me, Jordan. It's like the berserk armor for me. Catch discourse. It's just I'm colorblind now since I've seen so much catch discourse. But oh my God, I hate it. I genuinely hate. That's all people have talked about for. By the way, now the Bengals just get to go by with a free pass. By the way, I hate that too. Again, I also just hate ref discourse because from like a narrative perspective, it shields like teams from being accountable for like losing because they lost. The Bengals, they lost. It wouldn't matter if Patrick Mahomes didn't run out of bounds. A, you just didn't hit him when he was running out of bounds, or B, I don't know, you scored at any of the points when you. If like Joe Burrow didn't throw a pick with like 7 minutes to go in the game, or you don't punt on the next possession. Like I hate it. Oh my God, it's just I hate ref discourse, Jordan. Anyway, what do you think of the games? Which outside of meaningless rule discourse.
I think the script writers gave us both a triumph and a tragedy.
Okay. Yeah, that 49ers game sucked. I hated that. I watched that whole game too. That game was depressing. I don't even know what to make of that one. Like
it did. I'll give you some. I'll give you 70% correctness on your take last week.
Yeah,
I'll admit I'm wrong. Maybe instead of having one great quarterback, you have about 4 or 5 kind of good quarterbacks.
You apparently need them. Whoever is the trainer for the quarterbacks in San Francisco needs to like be fired. Like needs to be like shot into the sun. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they're doing so wrong on keeping their quarterbacks healthy. I don't know if like they're scouting these guys wrong, if they're training them wrong, if like they're not getting enough water because there's a drought in California.
And also don't have a backup tight end block the guy who has 16 sacks.
You know, even that
on the season.
You know, dudes get sacked sometimes. Like it just happens.
And absolutely ruined Brock Purdy's elbow.
It's UCL, baby. Seeking a second opinion on if he needs surgery.
Tommy John's coming, baby.
What is it with them? Like, I don't even know what to make of that. Like, not that they were like, killing it in that game before, but I mean, why? They said Jimmy, by the way, Garoppolo was kind of pissing me off during that game.
Him and Trey Lance, they're having a good old time.
What's Trey Lance?
They're off in their own world.
Because Garoppolo was like smiling. And maybe it's easy to see him smile because he's got a beautiful smile. So when you see it, you just
because he's so handsome,
you just can't help but look at it. Exactly. You're like, so charmed. What's going on over there? Like a diamond, and it's like a diamond upon a pile of coal. But you see it, and you're like, ooh. But then I'm like, what's he smiling about? Get out of here. Your team's losing, buddy. Come on. Still paying your check. I didn't like it. Is Trey Lance too? Is Trey Lance goofing around?
Yeah, like they show the footage of like Trey Lance telling him a joke.
Okay, yeah, no time for joking.
Laughed, and then he got serious after he was done laughing.
The three of you, Garoppolo, and Purdy all need to like merge together to form like one healthy guy. All your injuries are in different areas. If you like all merged together, you'd be one healthy You'd be one healthy like 84 overall quarterback. It's just I don't even know. Like, I don't know what to make of it. Like, it's the same thing with the 49ers every year. It's like they're really good.
Like,
I don't know why they put Brock back in. I don't know why they put Brock. Honestly, I do give them crap for this. I do think I do give them crap for putting Brock Purdy back in. Like, truly and genuinely. Like, I don't know what that was. They showed that was ballless, I think. That was like one of the most gutless things I've ever seen in a major game. Like, you put that guy in knowing he couldn't throw the ball. Like, knowing he was doing nothing.
What were they supposed to
put McCaffrey at quarterback or anything else. Do anything else. Think outside the box. Supposedly you're this offensive genius, Kyle Shanahan. Do anything else.
Jake,
he didn't throw the ball.
Jake, this isn't 2007. You just can't come out in the Wildcat.
You better than what they're doing. Better than putting out a quarterback who can't throw and can't run. It literally is better. Who cares? Try. It's a conference title game. Try. What's the worst that can happen? You lose?
Well, you also get Christian McCaffrey injured.
Who cares? He's gonna get injured anyways. Christian McCaffrey. Like he's.
What
do you mean you can get him injured? Who cares? He'll be handing the ball off half the time. Who cares? Like he's getting the ball at every possession anyway. Maybe you get a roughing the passer call on him. It's just stupid. That was stupid. That I did not like. They're in a bad situation.
They're in dire straits.
Yes. Try. You can still try. If I'm a 49ers fan, I'm mad about that. I'm like, why?
What were they going to do?
Literally anything but
run the QB powered 50 times?
Yes. Better than what they were doing.
As compared to Brock Purdy handed it off 50 times?
Brock Purdy, elbow shattered, he can't throw. Yeah, at the very least, run like an option with a guy who's actually like a threat to run. Literally, it adds more of an element to your offense than having a quarterback out there who can't throw and isn't a particularly good runner. Yes, you were literally playing 10 on 11. At least play 11 on 11 like a high school. You might as well. It's literally that was gutless. They gave up. They surrendered.
Do you know how
probably won't work?
Eagles would have ate that running game alive.
They were doing it anyway. It would literally make it harder for them to eat that running game alive than what it was for them. They gave up. That one I'm out on them for. Gotta be honest. That one they don't get. They don't get a pass for me on that one. That you could have tried something. You could have tried something. You literally gave up.
Like what?
Literally put put Deebo Samuel in at QB. I don't know. Try. It would be better. You can't tell me it wouldn't have been better than having a Brock Purdy out there who can't throw the ball because he tore his UCL.
It would have been absurd to have Debo Samuel
No, it
as
wouldn't.
quarterback. Would have been
No,
absurd.
it wouldn't. It was absurd to put the guy back in with a shattered elbow.
Well, they didn't know it was shattered at the time. That was
they
just like
don't.
a nerve thing.
They knew it was shattered enough that he wasn't throwing. They had him throw the ball once for 3 yards. They know. They knew he wasn't right. They could have tried. It's a conference title game. Like try.
What were they going to? They were done either way.
Literally,
It was
any of the things
the game
I'm
was
telling
already over.
They were down by like 1 touchdown when they put him in, I believe. They were. It was 21-7 when they put him in.
The game was already
You know,
over.
but maybe, I don't know, maybe not. I mean, you have all these weapons. You have this great running game. Maybe you fake something. Would you rather? Okay, so are you really telling me that like a Brock Purdy who can't throw is better than like, I don't know, like the Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey read option? You genuinely think that's not like better?
It's just as effective.
I think it's more effective.
The Deebo Samuel Christian McCaffrey option is fooling nobody.
I mean, it is by nature. You don't know which one's gonna run with the ball, and they're both players you have to defend. They're both good, threatening runners. They're both.
Then you bring down some linebackers. You put 8 in the box.
That's what they were doing anyway. At least maybe one of them has a better chance of breaking it off than like Brock Purdy does. One of those guys at least has a better chance of breaking the run off.
So what are you just gonna extend? You're gonna extend the play either down the line of scrimmage.
Maybe
and have one guy get taken out.
Anything
and another guy
creative.
Come taken out.
Do anything creative because you supposedly have this uber creative. You see, Jordan, you're a quitter too. Then
I'm not a quitter, Jake.
Put the punter in.
Put the punter in.
No, probably not that. They quit. Like they quit. I don't know. I mean, there's been a bunch
of
like
it was already done. You gotta know when to fold it.
Or not. Why fold? Why fold, Joe? It's a conference
The game was
no
already
over.
To
fold.
It was already over. They already lost. They already lost.
I don't know, maybe not. What?
They're already lost.
You managed to score one janky touchdown, then your defense gets a stop, and now you get to have the ball with a chance to tie it. Then you just gave up.
It was already done.
You gave up.
It was
already
done.
5 possessions after that or something. They quite literally had 4 possessions where they just were throwing a Brock Purdy out there who couldn't throw. Nothing on one of those possessions you don't try? That's bad. No, Jordan, that's quitting.
They did try. They had like a Christian McCaffrey wildcat flea flicker type of thing.
Do more of that.
Well, it didn't work.
Yeah,
that's why I didn't.
At least it's an attempt.
They attempted it once, and they weren't fooled.
Well, yeah, don't throw it. I mean, don't have him throw. Probably don't have him throw the ball a bunch of times. That's probably stupid, but you know.
I mean, if he didn't throw it, it was like 10-yard loss because there was a guy in front of his face.
Yeah, I'm not saying you just run like a flea flicker. I don't know, like just run some plays. I don't know. Like,
well, if you don't know, then why do you expect Kyle Shanahan to know?
I'm not the offensive genius here.
Well, do you know his personnel better than him? Like, do you
apparently?
I mean, do you just assume that they have like this almighty capability to just do something?
No, but I know that it's better than what they were doing.
Well, what would you have done?
I would have put in somebody else at quarterback who's like at least a threat to run the ball. That's what I would have done. Like,
it wouldn't have mattered.
I mean, it might have. It would have been better, Jordan. It would have been better. I mean, again, like you have like all these like. You have all these weapons, and you're just making them all completely worthless. I don't.
The weapons are only potent with a facilitator, Jake.
Well,
you can't run. You can't win a game based entirely off of gimmicks.
Yeah, probably not. But you can't win the game without
like I said, this is in 2007. You just can't come out with the wildcat.
Okay, but Jordan, again, it's not like they were even trying to run anything resembling an offense with Brock Purdy because his elbow was torn up. Of course, I'm blaming him by that. I mean, there've been a bunch of people getting into like, should like teams have to carry a third quarterback like they did like 10 years ago discourse. Hear that?
And then you like, how well do you expect Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel to like know the offense from the quarterback?
Probably poorly. Yeah, I mean, you just literally be in their ear every play, being like, okay, this time just toss it to Deebo.
Do you know if Deebo Samuel can take a snap from under center?
Oh, probably not. Probably. I don't know. You figure it out. Like, Like, I don't know. Like, you can't tell me they didn't quit.
The Deebo Samuel knows how to proper audible somebody in motion.
I don't know. Did he play quarterback in college? Probably. I don't know.
Like it's not as easy as you
make it. I know it's not as easy. I mean, it's a long shot, but you can't tell me they didn't literally give up. You're saying it's fine that they gave up and that they had no chance. I'm just saying, why give up in that situation? That's dumb. That's dumb. Shanahan's a quitter. Another more anti-Shanahan take from me. Also, please,
Jake,
please send one of your spawns down this way, please. But you're a quitter, buddy. You quit.
They quit.
They absolutely quit.
Dude was dead.
They
dead in the
quit.
water.
They quit.
Dead in the water.
Yeah, they just decided to drown, Jordan. They didn't struggle against the current.
They would have drowned anyway.
You see, Jordan, that's quitter talk, baby.
You either die dreadfully or you die peacefully.
You see, that's
and they
quitter
chose to
talk
die
right
peacefully.
There. That's quitter talk, right? It was not peaceful. They did not go down peacefully. They quite literally did not go down peacefully. They went down violently and petulantly.
And it would have happened.
And I'd be mad too if my coach was like, fourth quarter, we're done trying. They did not go.
What are they supposed to do?
John, I've outlined multiple things they could have done, and you're like, nah.
You're gonna Debo. You're gonna have Debo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey was their emergency quarterback. He was listed as their emergency quarterback, so they at least had some semblance of confidence that maybe something could have, which maybe means he took like one snap in practice during the week. I don't know. But they quit, Jordan. You can't tell me they didn't quit. We're agreeing on that. We're agreeing on that.
Jake, I'm telling you,
it's fine to quit.
Sometimes when you're faced with an impossible problem, sometimes
you
the
find
best solution is to
why
put the chips on the table.
Conference title game. Try something.
And they weren't going to the Super Bowl.
Try doing anything.
Okay, and if they did win, what the hell would they do now?
I hope that Garoppolo gets healthy by then.
That was
on the table. That was on the table. Garoppolo being healthy.
Yeah. It was better that they lost. I'll put it that way. It was better that they lost.
Gross. Hate it. Bad mentality. Jordan moments.
All right.
Bad.
Okay, Jake. When you're a head coach and all four of your quarterbacks are out,
listen. It's not great. It's not a good. I'm not saying they had to win. I'm not saying they had to win. I'm saying that you could have tried. There were things. There were very, very fringe options you could have tried instead of quitting.
Fringe options does not substitute for a NFL game plan.
You're right, but
you got to
think of something on the fly when you're down 4 quarterbacks on the season and they just went whatever. Giving up.
What? Who has that contingency plan?
That's why I always say you should draft 2 to 3 quarterbacks every single season and have like 6. I don't know. They should have had a third quarterback probably.
They did have a third quarterback. No, he got hurt too. No, he got a concussion.
They had 2 quarterbacks on the game day roster, Jordan.
Yeah. Well, yes, because the other 2 were injured. They carried 4 quarterbacks. That's way. I don't even think they had a practice squad QB. I think Josh Johnson was their practice squad QB. Find another one. So he can go in.
Before 2012, you had to have 3 quarterbacks on your roster. That was a legitimate rule. You had.
Well, they should bring that rule back.
Honestly, no. I'd rather the 49ers get punished for being arrogant. I've seen that discourse. Honestly, I'd rather they get punished for being arrogant. Honestly.
Well, they had 3 quarterbacks on their roster.
Well, I'm saying like on the game day roster. Like they gave you like a. I'm saying they gave you a 46 roster spot, like a game day roster spot, but that 46 spot had to be a third QB, and then they just went, nah, never mind, you can just have like a 46 roster spot, and then just changed it, then they just got punished for it. So now people are like, oh, maybe they should add a 47th and force, but that one has to be a third QB, and I'm like, no, punish the 49. Frankly, if any team should be worried about their quarterbacks getting hurt, Jordan, it should be the 49ers. So that's on them.
Jake, every other coach in the NFL would have rolled over and died the same.
I think some would have fought against the win. You think Dan Campbell would have rolled over, Jordan?
Yes.
Dan Campbell would have rolled over.
Jake, for $100 right now, Monopoly money. Who's the Lions' backup?
He would have. Oh, I got no.
Who's the Lions' backup?
Doesn't matter.
Then who's the Lions' third string?
Who knows?
Who's the Lions' fourth string?
Probably. I don't
Who plays quarterback when all those guys go out?
I think Dan Campbell would go out there himself before he'd roll over and die.
So see, that's different.
And he'd go out there and play QB himself before he rolled over and died. Their backup was a Nate Sudfeld, former 49ers. 49ers could have used him.
They could have used him.
Knows the system.
On Sunday, yeah.
Nate Sudfeld, and they do not have a third string quarterback listed on their depth chart.
I
But
mean, I don't know, Jake. I mean, how many QBs can you expect to have on a roster?
I mean, most teams carry too. I'm saying they used to have to carry. Frankly, I don't want to make it easier. I'm not saying you change the rules to accommodate them. I'm saying you.
Like they went through 4. All 4 of
I
their
know. Oh,
QBs are hurt right
horrible. Again, at this point, it's their fault. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing, but
yes,
it's their. I don't know what they're doing wrong, but it's something they're not doing. So I don't know. Maybe this probably like helps the Brady to San Francisco case, honestly.
Or maybe like San Fran, they go in the draft, they find the biggest, meatiest guy they
That's
can.
That's what Trey Lance is. Trey Lance is the big athletic guy. That's why they drafted him.
They need a bigger, more athletic guy.
Yeah, clearly. No, I agree. They just need a guy with natural padding.
Will Anthony Richardson drop to like the second or something?
Probably not. Anthony Richardson might weigh less than Trey Lance. Trey Lance weighs 225. Actually, Brock Purdy weighs 220. Wait, no, it carries it differently though. Yeah. But
like, can
Anthony
get like
Richardson
some like
231,
which is pretty. Can get like some like 6'6", 240 quarterback from like from like D2. I don't know. Like I don't
somebody.
know.
I don't know what it is. They kind of. You know, I don't know. They can't keep these quarterbacks. I guess maybe it isn't just Garoppolo's who's injury prone. It might just be something in the lack of water there. Yeah, and then Chiefs Bengals was a good game. I mean, just probably an all-time football game between the two best quarterbacks in the league that got overshadowed by reffing and also feeling kind of regular. Also, the Bengals talked a lot of crap, but you know what? I respect them. I'm glad they did, Jordan, because I've talked about this a lot. Sports are too friendly. Pro sports have gotten too friendly, so I appreciated the Bengals going out of their way to talk a bunch of crap.
I mean, yeah, but you know, you ask guy to check the cash to check your mouth.
Yeah, it's
your
good.
Mouth
Good. Set yourself up. Put something on the line, baby. Makes it more entertaining.
It also like the guy who were talking junk, like Joe Mixon didn't play.
Yep.
Eli Apple had no business. Eli Apple shouldn't be allowed.
Him and Emmanuel Achu and Eli Apple's mom were beefing hard. Don't know if you saw that. Emmanuel Achu's Eli Apple's mom was coming at him.
You know,
he's everywhere these days.
Eli Apple has no business.
Emmanuel Achu, that guy's everywhere these days.
Hey man, he's on. He'll speak on FS1.
No, he was hosting The Bachelor at some point, or maybe it was The Bachelorette. I don't know. One of them. Maybe it was The Bachelor in Paradise.
I don't know what The Bachelor in Paradise is.
I would assume it's The Bachelor, but in a more like tropical locale.
But Eli Apple, dude.
But you see, it's good though. It's good. It's good. It makes things more interesting. Guys being friendly and respectful all week is lame. That doesn't make sense.
But Jake, there's Joe Mixon, good player. Unfortunately, he's a running back, so he's underutilized. But Eli Apple,
I get it. Not saying he deserves to be, but that's even better. You can call him out for it. You can talk about it. Good. I'd rather him be that than be friendly and respectful and not give us anything to enjoy.
If CJ Garner comes out and start talking shit, and it's like, okay,
Mayor of Cincinnati, thumbs up to you. Thank you.
Oh, Mayor of Cincinnati, that's funny. I really like how everyone was talking shit, but Joe Burrow.
Yeah, he doesn't need to. You know, that's his ambiance. It works. The whole thing works. So I'm glad. Thank you, Bengals. Anyway, Super Bowl's gonna be pretty good, I guess. 2-1. I mean, it's 2-1 seeds. It's not like, you know, Eagles certainly had an easy path. Maybe we'll do like Super Bowl picks next week.
Oh damn! You want to start the copy pasta I saw the Mickey Mouse Eagles run?
Oh, they had a path and a half.
Hold on. I have it on my phone. Let me
excellent. All right. They certainly did now they're playing like the best team in the league. So I mean, what are you gonna do? But
Eagles Mickey Mouse run to Super Bowl appearance. Undeserved bye week. Beat a rebuilding Giants team. Beat the 49ers hospital team. I speak for all NFL fans when I say the Super Bowl appearance does not count.
You know, it's not wrong. It's an easy path, but I also don't know what a harder path through the NFC would be. Besides, like a healthy 49ers team.
You play the teams that got to the playoffs.
It is. That's why I don't like getting into like path slander. But it's like, I don't know. I also, again, what would a better NFC path have been? Like playing the Cowboys into the divisional round instead? Like, you could say maybe playing the Vikings, but like the Giants are there because they beat the Vikings. So, like, And the
Yeah,
Eagles, I think, also beat both those teams this year, or all those teams this year already. Like, just the 49ers. The 49ers were the one real team, the other real team in the NFC, and then they couldn't show a shred of creativity in the fourth quarter. So then they just waved the white flag of San Francisco.
Dude hates the Shanahan so much. He hates him so much. Dude is like, so what? Literally all your quarterbacks got injured.
Figure something out.
Do better.
Play yourself. Get in there. Suit up, coach. Literally just put somebody else in Brock Purdy.
Have Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey run a wing tee.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Try it out.
Get in the wishbone with George Kittle.
Ooh, now you're talking. These are all ideas.
Get blown up by an edge rusher in the wishbone.
Probably, but
when he just pops a gap.
At least you went down swinging metaphorically instead of actually just swinging because you're mad that you're losing. instead of just getting yourself suspended for week 1, probably.
Hey man, it happens.
But So anyway, Sean Payton got traded today. Like literally right before the show started, which I love when news breaks before the show starts. We had another couple of hirings.
Wait, Jake.
Okay.
Do you smell that?
No, Jordan. What is it?
Something on the air.
Okay.
If you waft, you can smell it better. I think is that Russell Wilson cooking?
It smells like it, Jordan. You don't hear it coming out of the kitchen?
I was in the kitchen making a sandwich. I thought I saw some 5'11" guy right next to me. And I was like, wow, that dude kind of looks like Russell Wilson. And I was like, but that can't be him. He doesn't know how to cook anymore.
But so they traded him to the 49ers, not for the 9th overall pick, which is the Seahawks have, for the 20, which I didn't realize it was a 29th overall pick before we started. They traded the pick they got in the Bradley Chubb trade, which was the 49ers first round pick, which would be higher if they maybe tried to have an actual offense. But
like,
the 31st overall pick. The Broncos are really happy that the 49ers phoned it in. They got the 29th to the 31st, I'll tell you that. But Walmart checks are cashing in Kyle Shanahan's account right now. But so they traded that one, which isn't as much. I'm like back and forth on this. Like if this is like a smart thing. Like on one hand, I want to say like first round pick for a coach feels goofy. Now, I think that's almost like a philosophical thing. I mean, I don't even know like how really like I don't even know how gung ho you are about Sean Payton in general, Jordan. Are you a big there's in a vacuum? Are you a Sean Payton enjoyer?
Not particularly.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think he's a very good coach. Again, my brain is broken by like Brady Belichick stuff. My brain, we talked about this earlier in the week, my brain is like broken by it. By like a lifetime of it. That like my bar for like what is considered good is so wildly out of whack that I'm like, ooh, he won 1 Super Bowl and made like consistent playoff appearances? Trash.
I mean, I think the problem with the Saints though, I've seen the Saints choke in the playoffs
so many times. But it's also like, is that choking in the playoffs? Is that just winning what is actually a normal amount? I don't know. Probably the choking one.
It's kind of choking.
I'm not willing to say it's not choking either. Frankly, this isn't me admitting fault. This is
because they did it like 4 or 5 years in a row.
But like he's a good coach. Like Sean Payton is like, I don't know, what in his time probably a top 5 to upper half of the top 10 coach, and like we're comparing him to the field. Which is also we have to. Now, is a coach worth a first round pick?
Depends on the coach.
I am on the fence. Yeah.
Sean McVay, yes. Sean Payton.
It's like having a good coach obviously, right? We saw what they had last year with but if you're the Broncos, I get it. And they're also like big game hunting on the coaching market, by the way.
Yeah. The Broncos, they're in dire straits. This is the best they could have done.
Which is, I mean, this is the guy, except for Jim Harbaugh, for a lot of people. So I do get it, because like I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, coaches don't matter. Like if this is, especially if he's, I guess it also depends like how long he's there for too. Like if he's there for like an extended period of time, then it's like especially worth it. You know, like if he's there for like six plus years, 8, 9 years. I don't know exactly how old Sean Payton is. I don't think he's like old, but
probably like mid-50s,
59. He's a little bit older than I thought, but
okay.
then I think it's even like if he's there and he like establishes something and he like gets the franchise going like a positive direction, then I mean like beyond like even like the Russell Wilson situation, which again I guess if there's anybody who can maybe like make like a 6-1 quarterback work, it's you know, it's Sean Payton. But like we can crap all over Russell Wilson. He was very bad last year. In fairness, I did think that from week 1 that Nathaniel Hackett was terrible.
You did say that.
And it's the same thing that I said with Patricia and Judge earlier. Like, I can't acknowledge that the coaching was a horrible, horrible disaster and not saying that upgrading to something at a bare minimum as average won't make a big difference. Like, can I believe a world where, like, Sean Payton can, like, get Russell Wilson in a position where he's playing at, like, an average level? Yes. I am willing to believe in that. I am willing to believe that that is possible. I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to go crazy with it. But, like, I get to a point where I believe that like he can get Russell Wilson to like play like an average NFL starting quarterback. Yes. And that alone, having something you feel confident would do that, probably worth it if you're the Broncos, because you are so locked into this. You are so invested in this. You can't get out of it if you wanted to and like still be able to field an NFL roster. What's one more pick? Like what's the 29th pick at that point? I mean, could you argue you could go find somebody else who was free? I mean, I guess that's kind of the issue, too, because it's a matter of opportunity cost. Like, every other coach you could have gotten would have been free. But also, every other coach would have been, at least, like, to some extent, like, a risk. Like, Sean Payton is a known commodity. And I guess you can... And I don't even think this is, like, necessarily just about, like, maximizing, like, the Russell Wilson window. But I don't know. I get it. Like I get it if you're the Broncos. Like, you know, you could have taken a swing, but like I get it. You want like a real coach. And Sean Payton, at least I know, is a real NFL head coach. And no, good for the Saints too. Good for the Saints. Getting an asset out of it. Good for them. But I get it for the Broncos. They need a steady proven hand like yesterday. Like, they needed one 12 months ago. So I get it, Jordan. I don't know. Do you feel any different?
So I guess the way I would like to frame it is like, imagine this was just sort of, let's pretend instead of having Russell Wilson there, you had like Brock Osweiler, like nobody there. The Broncos, with the exception of quarterback, is a great team,
yes.
Top 5 defense. Very good receiving core, very good offensive line, kind of competent running game, but running games kind of just aren't important. You can get
they're very important. It's just the running.
Get a running back in like the 5th round.
Well, the
so
scheme is what's important. The running scheme.
Yes.
Anyway, go on.
But the problem is the goal is to see if whether or not Russell Wilson is cooked. That's what it all comes down to. That's
I
what it's
don't think
all
that's
about.
the entire thing, because again, I think like the Sean Payton thing is actually worth it if he's there longer. I think if he can just be there and just like make the team like something, like again like make them go from like one of the worst coach teams in the league to like competently coach and like build on that over like a few years. Like that is like that can like that's independent of the Russell Wilson thing, and then just also hoping that like either like he can get Russell Wilson going or get somebody else going or just something. Because, like, my God, like, it was miserable last year, Jordan. Like, it certainly can't be worse. So
it's all about Russell Wilson. But
then fairness, like, you're bringing in a guy who's probably one of the best guys to try and fix it.
Like this is a master class in the sunken cost fallacy.
Again, I don't even
except it's not even a sunken cost. It's more of like, you got to get this right, or it's literally going to just chop your head off.
You know, they're trying to bail water, but you know they got a big bucket, Jordan.
Yeah,
it's a big bucket.
It's like their basement is leaking, but they have a really big Bucky and a very nice squeegee.
They're
And
trying.
they're
I mean,
gonna
they're trying. Again, like, if you want to get Russell Wilson, I think there's more to it than that. I'm not just looking at it as, like, the fix Russell Wilson thing. I think there's more to it than that. But also, like, among guys who would...
it's a 5-year, $10 billion commitment with
Yes.
Russell Wilson, regardless.
But also, like, if there's a guy who maybe could fix Russell Wilson, I guess Sean Payton's high on that list.
And it's not like you're going to bench Russell Wilson.
Maybe you do.
You can't cut him. You can't trade him. You can't do anything with him. You just gotta hope he's not dead.
Sean Payton,
And if he is dead, then there's nothing Sean Payton can really do.
Get another young buck going.
Yes, but like, what about the $250 million?
Something cost, Jordan.
That's a
at least you have a good head coach. At least you have a coach now who can coach. Maybe he can get you going.
If the Waltons can just say, you know what, we're just going to eat this $85-90 million cap hit and move on, I would salute them. But that's
they're willing to spend. You can't say. I assume they're going to be giving Sean Payton.
Like if they're willing to just hit like the reset for like 1 year and see what they can get,
at least
more power to them. But
again, even if you do that, you at least have like a coach you're confident can like build something, who has like built an NFL program up in recent memory. It's
yeah, but that would be
competence at the head coaching is invaluable. I will say that. There are less than 32 men in the world. There are less than 32 men in the world.
That's like an apocalyptic scenario for Denver.
Yeah, that's why. First you're like, oh, Sean Payton, try to work your magic with him, please. Here's a big bag of money. I assume they're giving him a big bag of money.
Or like, if maybe Russell, if he's still ass next year, maybe someone can level with him. Like, Russ, you need to rework your contract. So like, you can't.
Probably not. I'm not doing that if I'm him.
If you're Russell Wilson, absolutely not.
You can bench me, but you gotta pay me.
But maybe someone can use this.
I'll go sit in my office.
This high moral argument and be like, Russ, you can't do this to us.
I'll go sit in my office and I won't bother anybody. I'll go sit in my office and.
I would hate to see Russell Wilson just become like the nicer version of Aaron Rodgers, but he's going to become the nicer version of Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers has won an MVP in the last 2 years. I'll be fair.
Yes.
Problem with Aaron Rodgers is not how he plays, I hate to say.
But Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson had not their best seasons last year.
But that's fun.
Both statistically, the worst seasons, actually.
That's Sean Payton thing. DeMeco Ryans got hired by the Texans. I don't know. Good for him. I read a whole article about big DeMeco Ryans pump up piece. I know you're out on defensive coaches altogether, Jordan.
I am out on defensive coaches altogether, but I don't think it's going to matter for the Texans.
Probably not. But
they're
at least
still going to be bad.
At least they like actually hired a guy to like actually be the coach and not to be a tank commander. Their last two head coaching hires were kind of intentionally bad. This one, at least, like DeMeco Ryan is like a guy who's like well regarded and like other teams allegedly wanted. So it seems like they might actually be ready to start trying in Texas, in Houston, whatever that's worth. Blank slate, a lot of money. They got Nick Caserio.
I guess it's better than the Cardinals, and I guess it's better than the Colts. So I'll say that.
Not a lot. It's a blank slate, Jordan. So I'm trying to do like a Madden rebuild. It's a bunch of money and bunch of picks. Blank slate, baby. Good luck. Is a Belichick guy going to be the one to fix it? Probably not. But,
the Panthers was ideal, but Frank Reich,
good hire.
Slippery sloped right back in there.
Good. I still think that's a good hire. But I don't want to get into too much Panthers talk.
Ooh, what's their Panthers QB situation going to be like?
I don't know. They're really could anything happen. They could trade up. They could like have somebody fall to them in the draft. They're in like a interesting QB spot. They gotta be a little bit proactive, but they could like legitimately like they could wind up with like there's like a world where like CJ Stroud or like Will Levis falls to them there, or they like move up a little bit, do some maneuvering. But that'll they got some options there. They got some options. Probably hopefully not Sam Darnold if you're them. I hoping for something a little bit more than that, but they could like end up moving up or something. Again, like somebody could fall depending on who they like. So Panthers, fun team, sneaky good, very good O-line, very good defense, a good wide receiver. Also, the NBA trade deadline's coming up, Jordan. You excited for that? I didn't ever want to talk about it this week. We're transitioning to basketball now, by the way. We again squandered so much time talking about football, more than we intended to. We do it every week. It's getting bad. We gotta figure out a way to truncate the football talk, I say. But
it's fine. Just give it a couple weeks.
It's a great point. It'll be done soon. Great point. Then we'll be like desperate for things to talk about. But no. So trade deadline's coming up.
You'll be giving us your Cavaliers or your Hawks or.
Oh, I got them right now. I'll give you some right now, Jordan. So the NBA trade deadline is on the 9th. I wasn't sure if we should do like our big preview this week or next week because we'd be recording on the 7th. It would be going out on the 8th. But like trades could start happening by then. So we'll also talk about it next week. We're going to talk about it now. Trade deadline's here, Jordan. To quickly start from the Celtics perspective, I would like to see the Celtics add. Wick Grossbeck, Jordan, would also like to see the Celtics add. He told Brad Stevens to muscle up and let's go get the job done.
Okay.
Which I believe will happen, Jordan, because one thing I will say, we do not talk about enough. I feel like we don't give Brad Stevens some praise as much as maybe we should, because I think since he became the president of basketball ops, which seemed like a very odd decision at the time, he has been very good. Now, he inherited a good situation. He inherited a great situation. But I gotta say though, in terms of just making like little moves to get them over the top, he has at a bare minimum been far more willing to trade like random first round picks than Danny Ainge has been, which was like the last thing this team needed to actually do to get themselves in position. He has been very aggressive in adding. We'd like the Al Horford for Kemba Walker trade was a boon. Even Derek White's been good. Like being able to navigate the Malcolm Brogdon trade that was a great trade. I don't think anything like they'd be able to do anything that significant this offseason having to shed guys. Brett Stevens done a good job. So I got confidence he could do it again at the deadline. Again, he hasn't built this team from the ground up. Danny Ainge built 95% of the foundation of this team. He got all of the assets. Didn't want to part with all the assets sometimes. So again, but, I don't know how Brad Stevens would do if he took over like a rebuilding team. But for the Celtics, he's done an excellent job. So far. And an excellent job literally just meant adding players at the deadline. Except for the Horford and the Brogdon trade were both legitimately good, kind of inspired, creative moves. But he's done good. So I have confidence they can do it. And I think they should add. I think the Celtics certainly should add. If anything, because if you're just kind of by default, if you're just a legitimate top 3, top 4 team in the league, I just think you should add for the sake of adding and trying and
adding what for what?
Oh well, I don't know. They could add a couple spots they could add to. Every team has holes. It's kind of at a bare minimum, just kind of like for any team, generally speaking,
yeah, every team has holes, but if
well, it's
it's not like there's a lot.
No, there's not. No, if you want me to
the
tier
they might need to give up.
Yeah, if you want me to tier my needs for the Celtics, it's another wing, another wing off the bench who can shoot a little bit, who could play the role that Gallinari was supposed to play, basically, because he's best case scenario, if Gallinari had a miraculous ACL recovery, he could be back by the finals, and I don't know if I'm giving him 15 minutes a game in the finals for the first time. It's another wing who can eat up this, another wing who can shoot and defend a little bit. That's my number one thing. The other one is maybe
how much would you trade to get that?
I don't know. Depending on the guy, the first or Pritchard or something. If you're looking at
whoa, not Pritchard. Whoa, calm down.
He's not playing. It's just somebody to be better than Sam Hauser,
Sam
Hauser. Hauser had a very good start to the season.
You mean Howitzer? The way he be shooting?
he was very good the first month and a half of the season. It was unbelievable. Yeah, now the threes aren't. You see, the threes were going in. Now he was shooting 45% for the first month of the year, and now the threes have stopped going in. So now, get a real NBA player, or another center, or a backup center to eat up the Luke Cornett minutes. I don't not big things, not huge.
Luke Cornett,
I know,
take away his minutes.
I know,
ridiculous.
I don't know, another big to eat up some the Blake Griffin minutes. like that, like again, like not like
the Blake Griffin minutes. He needs all his
I
minutes.
don't know what this bit is that you're doing, but no, it's like I think basically every team in the league, by the way, is like, wow, we could stand to add another like 6'8" to 6'10" guy who can shoot threes, kind of good.
Except the Lakers.
No, the Lakers need a million six. Need far more.
But
Rui's ball.
They're not gonna make a trade.
We're not talking about the Lakers, Joe. We're doing Celtic stuff, but
Okay.
if I'm doing like Nate, like PJ Washington is a guy I've seen throw like Jay. Honestly, they could add Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder would be a wonderful fit on this team.
Speaking of Jay Crowder, I did. You told me about this like before we started recording, and I was like, the Suns are my number one pick for a fire sale team.
God, you want my Suns takes? I don't think they should fire sale it. No, I don't. The Suns are having a down year, which is not like. Honestly, the funny thing is like their biggest need is like Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder. They need like Jay because for whatever reason Jay Crowder has just been holding out as a role player, which is certainly.
Then I don't know what's going on with DeAndre Ayton.
But he's not the advanced metrics are very, very not nice to DeAndre Ayton. I don't know what it is with them. They just refuse. Either they refuse or he refuses. They refuse to like utilize him like nearly as well as they could. Like or maybe he's not capable of it. But they like refuse to even seem to try to like let him like start playmaking out of the post or start like initiating any of his own offense. And they're just like, he's not like getting better. He's like kind of the same player he's been the whole time he's been in the league. But no, I mean, I don't know. Like at a bare minimum, the Suns have like, Devin Booker and like Mikal Bridges and like DeAndre Ayton, who like I still think is good and talented. He's just underperforming. Like that's like a decent enough core. It's just the problem with the Suns is that they're like relying so heavily on Chris Paul to like initiate their entire offense, and like he's just like kind of taking a step back because
he's like 40.
He's 36. Yeah, he's 36. Like, he's still playing very well, but he's like clearly like like not able to score nearly as well. Like he's not as fast, and they kind of just don't have like. They just sort of like don't have like a backup point like anybody else. Like they don't have like really good guard depth at all. Outside of like him and Booker are kind of their only guards. Really, and like Cameron Payne, like maybe kind of, but like Cameron Payne should be your next guy when your point guard is 36. So that thing kind of going. Then like their wing, like they've had like wing issues. Like Cameron Johnson's been out a lot this year. Also, again, like Jay Crowder hasn't been playing because he didn't want back up Cameron Johnson, but they really need Jay Crowder. Or they kind of really need because outside of those guys, their bench just sucks. Like, their bench just sucks. So like I don't see them as a fire sale team because it's like I wouldn't trade Booker, Bridges, or Ayton because they're like your pillars and they're good and they're right. And then like Chris Paul, you're not gonna be able to trade him. And then all the rest. I mean, Cameron Johnson's good. I wouldn't trade him either. And then the rest of your bench players are like Jay Crowder, who I would trade, and because he doesn't want to play there. And then nobody else anybody would want. You want like Saban Lee, Jordan? You want to swing like a big trade for Dario Saric? Maybe make a move for Bismack Biyombo?
Hey, I am a Biyombo enjoyer.
I'm not like blowing up like you're actually good young players. I just don't have anybody else. They're more like get to the offseason and like retool kind of team more than a rebuild. But yeah, like I don't know, like the Bucks have been like skulking around Jay Crowder again. Like every single team could always be like, give us some. It's like at the MLB trade deadline. You get the trade deadline in baseball and you don't really know what to do. Just trade for like more bullpen pitching. Like it's never a bad idea.
I mean, yeah, but like baseball difference because the amount of stuff you have available to trade is just.
Well, yeah, but it's just it's like
like you just start swapping AA and single A guys.
Yeah, I mean the Celtics have like assets to trade. Like they
and
control most of their picks. They have like a bunch of random seconds. They got like Pritchard, like things to trade.
Why are you hating on Pritchard?
They're not playing him. Like they're not playing him. So
they're going to need him one day. All right, they're going to need him.
They have some great guard depth. All right. Their guard depth.
It's going to be like round 2, and they're going to be like game 6 against the 76ers, and Harden's going to be cooking, and they're going to send in Pritchard for like
just to start.
I don't know, like 10 minutes, and he's going to hit like 4 threes in a row, and you're going to lose your mind.
He's very good.
You're going to be like, And you're like, I'm glad they kept him.
He hasn't been shooting threes good this year, but he's supposedly capable of it. They haven't
That's
played him.
exactly what happened against the Bucks last year.
No, that was Grant Williams, Jordan.
Or one of the games he came in and won sicko mode.
No, he's a very good, but they haven't been playing him. So, if you don't want to play him, then utilize the value and trade him to somebody who will want it. Like, trade him to the bunch of teams that would like him. He's a good player. I don't know. Like, yeah, do that. Like, add another center. Like, I've seen like Jakob Podol. That's a little bit outside of it's a little too expensive, rich for my blood. But like, I don't know, like Naz Reid, like Doug McDermott. Like, he's not a center, but like as another like kind of biggish guy who can shoot. Like, just be like another kind of old big guy who can shoot to like take up the Gallinari minutes that they thought they were gonna need. So yeah, those are the Celtics things. Otherwise, across the league, I think it's gonna be an interesting deadline.
Yeah, like, I'm also curious about the Jazz, since I think Danny Ainge needs to do more to secure his tank.
Yeah, I think they're just gonna. It's probably just gonna start like dealing off guys. They got a million guys you'd want. They got
Laurie Markkinen. He's a little bit too stable.
Oh well, Markkinen. I think you hang on to. He's like your building block now, but the rest of the team,
the finisher.
Yeah, like but Malik Beasley is a good player. Like Olynyk's a guy some teams would like. Oh, I'll take Olynyk on the Celtics probably. Mike Conley's like good. Like Malik Beasley. Vanderbilt's pretty good. Like Rudy Gay's fine. Like Sexton.
Although like the Jazz are only like 6 games out from like second or something.
Yeah, they're exactly 500. They're 26-6.
So
tank, baby. Bottom out. Time to start.
Don't take the chance, Danny. Blow it up some more.
Time to race it up. And like they have a bunch of guys. I'll take like Malik Beasley on the Celtics. Sure. I think it's them, but I think it'll be a good deadline because, like, again, like the value of us in like the post Warriors being the best team ever era is that you now have like a lot. Like, even though you also have like a third of the league tanking, you also have about a third of the league that could like reasonably convince themselves that they're like have like enough like chance of being a real contender to like legitimately want to try and add some guys. Like, you legitimately have like 10, 11 teams that you could like reasonably think could like convince themselves like we should like go for it to like some extent. Like, even if that's like adding like I know the Raptors have a lot of guys up like adding like an OG Anunoby, or like Pascal's kind of up. John Collins is the guy I keep seeing in trade room. John Collins has been in trade rumors for like a bajillion years. John Collins is like perpetually in trade rumors because the Hawks just don't like him. I don't know. They don't like him. But I've started seeing like Zach LaVine trade rumors and stuff. I don't know about that. I don't think that's ever gonna happen. I don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, like you have a lot of teams that are actively trying to be bad, but you also have like an equal number of teams that are actively trying to be good. So that should lead to pretty good trade deadline. I think we're gonna have an interesting trade deadline. Again, like in the East, like the Celtics, Bucks, 76ers, Nets, Cavs, like I've all legitimately been very, very good and should try to add. The Heat haven't been great, but like they've, it's been like the case for like the last 2 years. Like they've ended up turning it up. And by the way, they're a team that could probably fix themselves.
I think the Heat should be in the market to sell.
You'd think, but like they looked like kind of washed last year, and then they went to the conference finals. And again, like they could retool it. Like there are like ways that they could like kind of like switch some dudes around and like at least like get themselves going. I think they're just actively trying to win, and they're so in on this team at this point. Like, what are you gonna do? But I don't think they're gonna try and bottom out.
Sell some pieces off, get some new pieces in.
Like, like they're kind of in a weird spot. Like,
I'm not saying they have to be the Magic, but
no, but again, I think they're like in the category of teams that like think that they're a contender or would like to be a contender and would thus operate as a buyer, not a seller. The West, like the Nuggets, obviously the Grizzlies, obviously the Kings, I think are just happy to be good, but I could see them trying to add.
Well, they might as well.
Oh, they should. I agree with you.
They might as well. They have beams to light.
They got beams to light. I agree. Sky's looking a little dark. Clippers, they are just so all in at this point. And Kawhi's been playing good since he came back. Kawhi
all 8 games Kawhi Leonard has played.
Listen, they're so in at this point. They might as well invest a little more.
It might be 11 now.
Why not? He's been playing pretty consistently since he came back. He's been playing a good amount. How many games has Kawhi played this year? He's played 27 games, Jordan.
I don't believe it.
That's 27. He's been good. He's been working his way. And again, like I don't know if you're the Clippers.
That's fake news.
If you're the Clippers at this point, like you might as well just like be like, well, maybe we'll get to the playoffs, and maybe Paul George and Kawhi will both be healthy. We might as well like we're already all in on this. Like what's like a little bit more? Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll just both be healthy. Like, what are we gonna do? We might as well. It's very good if they are. Like, the Warriors, I don't know. I wouldn't bank against the Warriors. They should. I mean, if they just added like Alex Caruso or something, they'd be right back in it, baby.
I mean, hot take. I think the Warriors should sell some.
Who are they gonna sell? Who are you gonna sell a few of them?
I don't know.
Again, you're kind of it. Like, you're just in it by nature of, like, you have, like, that same core, and you have all, like, last year they weren't, like, they weren't, like, the contender out of the West, but they got there because, they know how to do it. And again, like, they just need, like, it's just their depth's been their issue more than anything this year. Because, like, Gary Payton's been gone, and Otto Porter's been gone, and, like, Kuminga and Moody and kind of, like, the combination of a lot of those guys just, like, having, like, kind of taken to those roles. But, I mean, that's, like, they need, like, some bench guys. Is what they need, like, Dante DiVincenzo to, like, get going again. But, like, they still have, like, their 1 through 6. Like, Steph, I mean, Clay's been kind of bad, but he's, like, but Clay's kind of been picking it up lately. It's like, they still have Steph, Clay, Draymond, Wiggins, Looney, Poole. It's just, like, need, like, to figure out, like, they're 7 through, like, 9. And that's, more solvable than the alternative than putting together, like, a championship core. So the Warriors, and then the Mavs, I don't know what the Mavs are going to do there. I don't know.
They're just gonna have Luka score 60 until he gets tired in like the Western Conference Final.
Yeah, against like a Clippers team that suddenly doesn't have like Kawhi and Paul George in the first round. Yeah, probably. All right, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough. All right, but Pelicans.
Speaking of teams that will get swept by the Mavericks, it would be the Clippers with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
No, both being
that wouldn't
injured.
Surprise me at all.
No, it'd be them both they both play in game 1 and then suddenly like both like be out in like game 2 and then the Clippers would like, because again, if they have both those guys, they're very. I mean, there's obviously like that's one of the best tandems in the NBA, and if you're them, you might as well like.
And everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my God, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard finally healthy," and then Luka will go in there and drop like 58 and 7, and
I think the Clippers be it for them. Like they're a legitimate contender if they have both those guys. It's just,
Are they? I mean, probably, we never seen it before.
If they have both, like both of those guys are like either like top 15 or top 10 players. Like yes, when healthy, yes, like they are.
Like
they have not.
Has it happened before?
No, no, it has not. But if you're them, again, like you're so invested in this, there's not a way you can even tear it down. Really, you don't have your own picks anyway.
Trade one or the other.
You can't. Who's gonna take them? They both hurt all the time.
That's true.
Like what are you gonna do? Like, you can maybe trade Paul George. You can probably trade them both, but it's like you're not gonna get anything that's worth like starting a rebuild with because you don't have your own picks anyways. Even if you suck, like you're not helping yourself. You're not doing anything. Like you're not doing anything for yourself by sucking because you have your own draft picks. You're helping the Thunder out. Like, so no, like you just
the Thunder definitely don't need any better draft picks.
You're already here. You're already
here. They have too many.
It's an imperfect situation. But it's not easy to get 2 players of that caliber together. It's not an easy thing to do.
I don't know. I've seen it a few times.
You have, but it takes a little while to get. You're there.
There might be a couple teams in the East that have 2 players of the same caliber that
but it
play at the same time.
Doesn't always happen, So
constantly, consistently.
You just gotta, you're just in. This is what you're in now. You just gotta try to make it work best you can. You gotta look at another point guard. Got in there, got some more wing depth. They're there, baby. The Clippers are there.
What about the not win now Lakers, huh?
How
about the team Rob Pelinka said won't win now, even though they're like.
I'm kind of coming back around on the Lakers. I am kind of circling back around now that Anthony Davis is back. I gotta be honest. I'm like, I'm rotating back around to like if they added, I wouldn't be like. I mean, they already did add. They added Rui. That was like a big move. I didn't trade much for him, but he's been good. By the way, he's kind of been balling since he came back. For the record, but I mean, since they traded for him, I mean, I don't know if there's a deal out there. I'm more inclined to make it now because like Anthony Davis was so good when he was playing, and LeBron's
please fire Rob.
So good. LeBron's been so good these last like couple of months.
It's unbelievable.
It is. So now I'm like back to like
incomprehensible.
Well, again, it's like because like the first month of the year, LeBron didn't look like he looked good, but he didn't look like great. It looked like maybe lost a step. But like now he's just back to being like all-time LeBron, and you have AD. I'm like, I don't know, how often do you have 2 players that good? Not an easy thing. That maybe you do just take advantage of it. Maybe you do try to make the best of it and hope that like if you get those 2 guys to the playoffs and you get like something around them, it can like work, which it could. It could.
The Lakers, they have 2 prime picks, baby.
Back on. I mean, like Schroeder's been playing good. Like Thomas Bryant's been playing good. You know, like Russ
Like
has been
I don't know how
fine.
I don't know how you feel about Lonnie Walker, but
Lonnie
you
Walker's been
know,
good. He's legitimately been good these last couple months. Like he has like actually like Lonnie Walker's like also been good. Like he's so fine. Like fine. I'm back. I'm on board. Do what you got to do. Fine. Yeah, Lonnie Walker's been shooting great like these last couple months. Like been scoring pretty good. Like yeah, fine.
also I would like to cement my firm opinion that LeBron James is the GOAT.
He might be. I mean, honestly.
I'm taking my official stance
Oh my
on
god,
it.
you see, I still just refuse to.
I filled out the paperwork. I got the letter in the mail.
You are now a little lover.
I am a little lover.
Damn.
I am a certified LeBron enjoyer. So
Damn, he's getting in before he gets the all-time scoring record, so they won't call him a bandwagoner. Which, by the way, again, if that shifts your opinion one way or the other, I'd love for somebody to explain to me how. If I'm being honest with, like, truly and genuinely, like, if that was the thing that got you on, I'd think you're weird. I gotta be.
you know, I see. I know your argument, and I understand it perfectly.
I'm not saying that you can't have him as your GOAT. I'm not even saying I don't. I'm just saying like if you like were like, no, LeBron isn't the GOAT unless he gets, what is it, 38,400 points.
Yeah, something like that.
If he has 38,200, no thank you. But if it's 38,500, oh baby, like everything's in a completely different historical context. I think that's silly.
I think it's the people sitting on the fence is like, oh, LeBron.
But it should have get you over the fence.
I don't know. I agree with you.
That legit, like 38,000. I was very close. It's 38,387. I was very close. like that shouldn't put you over. Like that shouldn't put you over the edge one way or the other. Like okay, so like if LeBron like stopped playing like tomorrow for some reason, like oh well, can't be the GOAT now. He didn't hit the all-time score. That's silly. That would be silly. But very good case. Anyway. Yeah, these would be a fun deadline. I think we're gonna like legitimately see like some neat things happen, or not. I don't know. No, the deadlines have gotten a lot better the last. There was like a long period where like the deadline was always lame, and we'd like talk about it, and then nothing would happen. Probably mainly because the Warriors were just so head and shoulders. The Warriors and Cavs are just so head and shoulders above everybody for like such a long stretch that it was like kind of irresponsible to be like, well, we'll try and win now. I was like, why do it?
I haven't seen any rumors or anything.
Oh, I see plenty because I like lurk around them. Oh, there are plenty of them.
You might be following the
all over the place. All plays a billion guys. But yeah, and now it's like now again there are so many teams that are like actively trying to lose and need to dismantle, and so many teams that are actively trying to win. Like legitimately, like we get pretty good deadlines now. Like I'm excited to see, I'm excited for the Celtics to add like a fourth wing. That'll be exciting. That'll be my big day. I'm like, ooh, baby, they added a ninth man. Let's go.
Jake, you know what they say inside you? There are two wolves. One wolf's 7'2" French kid.
Okay.
And the other wolf is kind of maybe sort of making it out of round 2 in the Western or Eastern Conference Finals.
Exactly. Two the two genders, Jordan. Tank for Vic or try and make the Western Conference semis.
Those are the two genders, yes.
And again,
Victor Wembanyama and playoff mediocrity.
Or you're just that, no. But again, like I don't really. The only team that I think is legitimately just trying to be like kind of good is the Kings, and I respect. Truly, I'll get this off. I genuinely respect that the Kings are like the rare team in like the modern NBA, which feels like this zero-sum game of you're either trying to be the worst team in the league or the best team in the league, and there's nothing in between that matters. I kind of appreciate that the Kings just at some point last year were like, you know what, let's just try and be an above-average basketball team. Let's just make win now moves to like make the first round. And they did it,
but
it's working out for them.
If Victor is even like a third of everybody's been hyping up to be, I'd rather have him.
I get it, but good. For the Kings specifically, I'm like at a certain point, it's like, you know what? You have been awful for 20 years. Remember when they could have drafted Luka? At some point, they'd somehow mess it up if they drafted Victor because they're cursed. And it's like, you know what? Just gotta be good. Just gotta be good at your sport for some period of time, and then good things tend to happen. Good things tend to follow, good cultured, well-structured teams. And now they're good. And now light the beam, baby. All in on it. All in on it. Sabonis should be an MVP candidate, legitimately. Very good. Doesn't have the numbers, has the impact. Great. A very fringe MVP candidate, by the way. Maybe like the 11th guy on the MVP ladder, by the way. It's like
he said there's a couple of people.
10 guys, but Sabonis has been very good. That was overhyping it. Sabonis has been very good. Sabonis has been excellent.
I'm feeling Embiid. I've seen Embiid doing reverse dunks.
Embiid was crazy against the Nuggets the other night.
Yeah, he's going sicko mode. I'm like, damn, who is this?
Embiid
who got him
crazy.
mad?
Oh, Embiid.
I'm like, Embiid driving to the basket.
Oh yeah. Oh please. Embiid went 47, 18, and 5. Dude was like, give me one of my MVPs back, please.
But the problem is Giannis is also
did Jokic have some
out
crazy...
of his mind too.
Yeah, also Jokic just quietly had 24 at 9.
Yeah, and Jokic and Luka's dropping 50 at will, and LeBron's having the greatest game at age 50 ever.
Great.
Very rough feel for Embiid.
Great time to be a basketball fan. He's in there. He's in the mix. He's like one of like 7 guys who are having like all-time great scoring seasons.
And then Jason Tatum too.
Oh yeah, balling, hooping. He was the favorite at one. It's a great time. Great time to be a basketball fan. Do not get it twisted. Oh yeah, how many guys in the league right now are like how many guys in the league right now are averaging 30 per game right now? At least 5. Hang on, let's see. Let me put a list up. Yeah, Joel Embiid leading the league in points per game. Joel's averaging 33.6. Luka's averaging 33.4. Giannis 31.7. Tatum 31.1. Shea's going crazy this year. Shea's going sicko mode in OKC. He's averaging 30.9. Dame's averaging 30.4. LeBron in his year 70 season averaging 30.2. Steph's averaging 29.7. Durant's averaging 29.7. Donovan Mitchell's averaging 20. No, actually, Donovan Mitchell's averaging like a paltry 27.6. But yeah, just a lot of good players in that NBA, I'll say. Don't know if that's a controversial hot take. But there's like 7 dudes right now who all have like a very, very, very legitimate NBA. And Jokic isn't even on that list, by the way. Jokic is choosing instead to average a 25, 10 and 10.
I was about to say, isn't he averaging a triple-double?
He's currently averaging 25, 11 rebounds, and 9.9 assists. So he's got to stop hogging the ball.
That is insane for a center. That's fucking crazy.
Legitimately one of the best passers. He is transcended being the best big man passer of all time and is now probably just one of the greatest passers of all time.
Maybe he did deserve those 2.
Oh, he did. Back. He probably deserves the 3rd. He probably won't get it. Because there's like 8 other guys who are like equally as deserved. Unless he went like nuclear, which again, I guess averaging a 25-point triple-double as a center isn't considered going nuclear. I don't know what would be
pretty nuclear to me.
I don't know what would be more than that. Unless he was like a miles above all like the other 8 legitimate MVP candidates. I don't think they'll give it to him, but man, the the funniest thing about watching Jokic is you'll watch Jokic and it's not that fun. It'll seem like he just a big lumbering Serbian guy just kind of playing basketball normally, and then the game will end and they'll be like, he had 45 points and 13 assists and 14 rebounds. You're like, when did he do that? When did that happen? What? Great fun player to watch, that Jokic. So yeah, like teams just casually have second options averaging 27 a game these days. Great time the NBA. This is why I am anti-expansion. A lot of people use this to be like, well, they should expand because there's so much talent. And I say, shut up, nerd. Consolidate it even more.
But if they expand and they get even more talent.
Oh, we said they have less to talent, be more dispersed. That would be the argument to expand. Because the same thing happened like after like the NBA-ABA merger, Jordan. Scoring peak.
Jake, no one remembers those
Oh, no,
days.
I'm telling you, it's a statistic.
You bring about statistics.
Scoring like a few years after
1972 or whenever that was.
A few years after the merger, scoring like peaked to like similar levels it's at now, and then they expanded, and then it all went down again.
Well, Jake, they didn't even know what 3 points were back then.
Exactly, that's why it's so impressive.
What are you talking about?
But yeah, no. So that
Were dudes still plumbers in the 70s?
No. They were
Sure.
they were at least like electricians, I'd say.
Some roofmen.
Oh, a couple of shinglers.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. I would love to finish shingling your house, but I have to go play the Nuggets tonight.
I have to go
so
guard
I'll pick
Dr.
this up
J,
tomorrow
sorry.
morning.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. People say that's why the league should expand. I anti-expansion, baby. You can call me anti-expansion.
Did Michael Jordan play against 7 different guys averaging 30?
No, I don't
No.
think he did. Most people in the history of the game have not. It's kind of crazy. It's just I don't.
In fact, Michael Jordan played against teams that literally couldn't score, like the Knicks or the Jazz.
Damn, dude is a.
I'm just saying.
Dude is a certified Patrick Ewing hater.
I mean, I like Patrick Ewing, but you can't tell me those Knicks and Jazz teams they couldn't score.
It's funny because you can say that, but also like it wasn't for Michael Jordan, we might just think of Karl Malone or John Stockton as like legitimate like all-time players. When you beat everybody doesn't seem that impressive in hindsight.
But John Stockton and Karl Malone are all-time.
Well, I'm saying like real, like up there all-time players, not like best player like ever not to have a ring. Maybe Karl Malone. But we don't like talking about Karl Malone.
We don't like
giving him credit
Karl
for
Malone.
stuff.
No, because
fair.
He's made some questionable choices off the court.
Does LeBron's GOAT case go up if like some like questionable stuff comes out about like Tim Duncan? I bet it wouldn't. I don't even want to manifest that into reality. I don't even want to talk. Never mind. I'd hate that. Oh my god, that would shatter my worldview.
I mean, I haven't even seen Tim Duncan since he retired.
He doesn't do anything. He just stays home all day. Doesn't do a thing. You wouldn't see Tim Duncan. Despite last time he came out, when he came out for like, I think recently came out for like a Spurs like thing. Oh, hair is long. He's got like locks now. He's got a beard. Going grail. I don't think he's doing anything right now. I think
good for him.
Dude career in when. Why would I start talking now?
Good for him.
He was like an assistant coach with the Spurs for like a year, and then he stopped. He didn't want to do it anymore. He was like, I don't want to do this. Yeah, no, like legitimately, he's not doing anything. He's just hanging. Truly and genuinely good for him. So as like one of the number one Tim Duncan performers all time. I mean, Tim Duncan defenders. As somebody who may or may not have Tim Duncan above Kobe in my all-time ranking, God, which exactly people who were 12 years old 10 years ago get really mad at you for saying. But anyway, that's it. That's the show. Trade deadline's going to be fun. Get Norman Powell on the Kings. I want to see it. Anyway, bye everybody. Have a great night. We'll be back next week. Check out the Twitter. Check out the YouTube. I'm on Twitter. Excuse me. Check out the YouTube and the TikTok. I'm on Twitter as Jake R. Elmsley. He is on Twitter and Instagram as true_world_king. We'll see you guys next time.